Hey everyone, my name is Will. Welcome to Room and Goods. With the holiday season of 2020 just around the corner, some VR games are about to release, and we've already seen some great games released this year, so what else is coming? Let's take a quick look. Number 1. Sniper Elite VR. The game sets in Italy in 1943. You're an elite sniper fighting for the Italian resistance. Some of you may be familiar with Sniper Elite 4 that can currently play on PS4, Xbox, PC, and it's coming to Nintendo Switch. But it's important to point out the Sniper Elite VR is not the same as Sniper Elite 4. The VR version is entirely a new animal from the franchise. They have developed new experiences that has 18 different missions where you can fight against Nazis by stalking your target and staying out of sight. Now, it's been developed from the ground up to take full advantage of VR's abilities. The transition from a third person to a first person VR game makes it look and feel different because you are looking right through the eyes of a sniper and moving around however and wherever you want. Now, the game will support teleportation, but it will also have an optional room scale, which is free movement that brings another level of immersion that consoles cannot provide, where you have full control of peeking out from cover, for example. So it's good to have choices to match how you want to play, like standing, sitting, crouching, or however you like. Now, if you've seen the gameplay of Sniper Elite 4, you'll know about the signature X-ray kill cams. This is when the player shoots their target successfully, the camera will then follow the bullet in slow motion from the sniper's rifle to the point of impact, which will show the body part that's being hit or damaged by the bullets itself, which probably reminds many of us the game of Mortal Kombat. Now, how does this work in VR, or will that even be there? Fortunately for us, or unfortunately for some of us, it has been totally revamped for the VR experience, which means we will be really close to the action where we can see the bone fragments and the organs scattering all over the place. But if that sounds a bit much, you can actually turn this feature off. Now, as you can imagine, the X-ray scene could cause a bit of motion sickness, but from what I've seen from the footage, parts of the X-ray scene will transition to a black screen for a second to decrease the chance of motion sickness. Now, this game will be available on the Oculus platform, HTC Vive, the Valve Index, and PlayStation VR. It's coming soon, but the exact release date is not known at this time. Number 2. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, developed by Asobo Studio. This game got originally released on August 17th for the PC, and now we're just waiting for the VR version to come out, and that's what originally caught my eye and many other VR enthusiasts as well, and along with the details of the aircraft, the landscape, the real-time atmospheric simulations that many others want to check out in VR. In fact, with all these details, I definitely want to check this out through the lenses of the HP Reverb G2, since many have declared the headset the king of clarity. So it's set to be released in sometime in 2020, so if everything goes according to plan, we might not have to wait much longer. Now, Microsoft did open sign up for the closed beta in late October. Interestingly, it doesn't look like you need a HP Reverb G2 VR headset to be the first ones to get access to the game, because they had mentioned before the VR version of the game was tied to the HP Reverb G2 for the initial launch. But apparently any Windows mixed reality headset will do. And as for the rest of the headsets like the Oculus, HTC, or others, will have the second wave of closed beta testing, but we don't currently know when the second wave will start. Number 3. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. I'm sure many of you heard about this game. There have been a couple updates since it was first announced. I, for one, am pretty excited about this game. It's set to launch during the holiday season of 2020 on December 11th. But just in case you're not aware about this game, this is a World War II shooters game that will have the player in the perspective of a soldier fighting on a historic battlefield in the 1940s at Europe as an agent of Strategic Services, which was a wartime intelligence agency of the US. The game will have plenty of action of players jumping off the planes, sabotaging the Nazi bases, skiing on mountainsides, and helping in the French resistance. You basically become an operative behind enemy lines. You'll experience the story completely in the first person view. Now, this game is a PC VR exclusive that will be released both on Oculus and the Steam store. However, it's been recently reported by Upload VR, Respawn Entertainment, the makers of the game, is actually trying to bring it to the Quest natively. Oculus Studio producer Mike Doran had mentioned, "We absolutely want to bring the game to the Quest, but we won't compromise the PC version to make that happen. Once the PC content is final, we will assess what it would take to get above and beyond on the Quest. And with that exercise complete, we'll be able to make a decision." So that's definitely exciting news. It's probably more likely that the game will be brought to the Quest 2 rather than the Quest 1 because of the performance boost on the Quest 2. Now, if you want a quick look at the gameplay, check out the Medal of Honor's website on Oculus.com. they actually have some extra game footage for you to take a look at besides just the trailer. It kind of gives you a sense how the gameplay is going to feel and look like. The only tip here is definitely turn up the volume when you're checking it out. Oh, by the way, I viewed it on the Microsoft browser. I tried to view it on the Google Chrome browser. It didn't seem to load correctly. Now, they also dropped a new trailer that shows the in-games gallery that features a collection of documentary of short films of World War II consisting of veterans' stories that help inspire the game. This really goes to show how much research the studio has done for the game to make and feel as authentic as possible. However, it's important to point out the game doesn't feature any specific plot points from the veterans' interviews, but instead trying to capture the emotions and the tone of the vets that influenced the game. Next up, number 4, Climb 2, that is coming exclusively to the Oculus Quest and the Quest 2 this 2020 holiday season, which is the sequel of Climb back in 2016. So it's a first-person climbing experience with the new city setting and the new maps. The scenes from the trailer and some of the screenshots look pretty impressive with really striking elements such as the volcanoes in the background along with these surreal environments. Now, the visuals seem to be really living up to Crytek's reputation for details, and according to the description of the games, you can compete with your friends and conquer leaderboards in asynchronous multiplayer modes. So I'm gonna definitely pick this one up as I'm really curious how visually it will look on the Quest 2. Number 5, Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. Personally, I've been waiting for this game to get released since I heard about this game. I'm a big fan of Star Wars and love the gameplay of Vader Immortal VR. The game will be released exclusively for the Oculus Quest and the Quest 2 this week on November 19th at $24.99 US with the runtime around 15 minutes or so. It's actually based on a Galaxy's Edge Disney park attraction. They dropped a trailer of the experience a couple weeks ago that gave us a bit more details. Now, the game is set during the High Republic era, which is hundreds of years before the events of Phantom Menace. During this time, the Jedi Order was at its most powerful, serving as the protector of the galaxy. Now, this gives the studio the opportunity to expand the Star Wars franchise even further by exploring never-been-told fictional stories. So you'll be playing as a Jedi Padawan who's studying at a remote Jedi research facility at Batuu, when an unknown relic released some sort of evil within the Temple of Darkness. After sending word to the Jedi Council about this, you must work with Jedi Master Yoda to combat the darkness that's now within the temple. Now, this temple is just one part of the experience of the story. You get to also play a droid repair technician who crash lands on the outskirts of Black Spire Outpost as shown in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland Resort and the Walt Disney World Resort. Now, in addition, there will be a second installment of this game that's set to be released sometime in 2021. So with all the Star Wars VR experience with Vader Immortal to Star Wars Squadron, it's definitely a nice early holiday present for all the fans out there. Number 6, Tarzan VR. It's a single-player adventure game that will be released this week on November 17th. That's heavily influenced by a comic book visual art style that makes you feel like you're stepping inside the pages of a comic book. So you can probably guess the game is set in the jungle where the player can explore, uncover hidden secrets, and swing through the jungle in a pulse-pounding fight for survival. Now, the first thing you may think of when it comes to Tarzan is probably swinging through the jungle. So based on the behind-the-scenes video from the studio, they mentioned they spent a good amount of time of perfecting the mechanics of swinging, plus it can be a tricky thing to pull off in VR. They wanted to make it feel fluid and as natural as much as possible. Along with swinging, the player will also be able to swim, climb, explore, use weapons, and fight with mercenaries on the island. Now, it's important to note the experience will have randomized elements, like the character's clothing or the animals or the creatures on the island. So when you come back to the experience, some of the elements within the game will be presented differently. So I'm definitely a fan of this art style. Seems like it has plenty of compelling environments that you can check out. Tarzan VR will consist of 3 episodes. Number 1, The Great Ape, number 2, The Jagged Edge, and number 3, The Dead of the Night, which will be available at a later date. Each episode will unlock new weapons, obstacles, and enemies. So again, the game will be released on November 17th of this week to all major VR headsets. Number 7, Jurassic Park Aftermath. So if you ever wonder if you ever got stuck on an island filled with dinosaurs, whether you survive or become a meal, no need to wonder anymore because you can now visit the island but through the safest means possible with the use of VR. Jurassic Park Aftermath will put you in the middle of virtual island to fight to survive against these velociraptors. The players will be uncomfortably close to these raptors where they can go experience the terror of fleeing for your life as they hunt you down all across the park. The game will take place 2 years after the Jurassic Jurassic World amusement park fell, and we clearly have not learned the lesson of going to an island filled with dinosaurs. The objective was to go to the research facility to recover the valuable information, but something of course goes terribly wrong. The only way to escape the island is get the confidential information, but we also need to avoid the velociraptors while we're exploring and solving the puzzles throughout the island. Now, as you can see, the visual of the game is cel shaded, which is a non-photorealistic rendering of the dinosaurs and environment. Some have mentioned they should have made this game more visually real to make it more terrifying, but I for one think that once you're in VR and fully immersed into the world, you're gonna still feel the full effect of these raptors. I think if this game was only played on a flat screen, then yes, I would probably go towards the direction of more realistic visuals, but when it comes to VR's immersive nature, I think this style works. But let me know what you guys think. Do you like the visual direction of the game? So Jurassic Park Aftermath will be coming soon. No word of the exact date. It will be released for the Oculus Quest and the Quest 2. Number 8, Hinge, a game that really messes with the player's head. It's a VR horror game. It's set to launch on Steam later this month on November 27th, 2020. In the game description, it states it's set in an American metropolis of the early 20th century, right after the Spanish flu epidemic. It takes place in a skyscraper full of fashionable Art Deco apartments built by an eccentric millionaire who's supposed to be a head of the mysterious cult. And this is where it gets interesting. The environment defies laws of physics, chemistry, and space are broken, and time is collapsed. So basically, once you're in there, all the rules are out the window. Plus, you're going to be in the shoes of 5 different characters, and you need to survive because you're stuck in this one huge psychological trap and you need to find a way out. Honestly, I'm not too much into horror games, but graphically I'm kind of curious based on the trailer and screenshots. It actually appears visually impressive, but what do y'all think? Would you be interested in this type of game? Alright guys, that's all I got for now. As always, if you liked the video, press the like button and consider subscribing. Talk to y'all later.